We've all got a pretty good idea how ordinary businesses work. This one, for instance, they buy food, sell at a profit, and maybe try to expand the business by opening new stores around Lisbon. Well, business has been the subject at CambrianSV today, and whether Bitcoin businesses may operate in a completely different way.
All right, hello everyone here in Lisbon. At Twetch, we're in the business of building cool shit. Today I'm announcing Twetch SDK officially. I know some of you in the room.
Twetch's SDK, or Software Development Kit, will allow anyone to profit from the startup's social media community by setting up their own specialist site.
For instance, if you wanted to remove all talk that wasn't about sports on Twetch, you just want the NBA, NFL, FIFA headlines or information or people posting about those things, you could make a site that only shows that kind of content. Just like you could also make a site that only shows content that is media, whether it's videos or photos. So you could have something that looks a lot like Instagram, but it's Twetch. It has the same interface and everything, but it just won't show text posts.
So if I set something like that up, will I get some revenue from it?
Yeah, right now we're offering a revenue share of 10%. That's a limited time thing as we kind of test this market and see how it's working out. So I'd really like to see how people get coding and what they can build using the Twetch SDK.
When it comes to the question of how is building a business on Bitcoin different, it's not just different versus the 1900s or Silicon Valley. There's also different versus building on Ethereum or building on BTC. So,
as well as organising CambrianSV and chairing its business panel, this week Jack Liu opened his own investment fund for Bitcoin SV businesses.
I'm launching a fund that's being entirely funded by myself to start, which will invest in Bitcoin companies who are making on-chain applications. And the entire returns of the fund will be a revenue share with those businesses from the output. And so that's why we launched a fund called Output Capital.
And so what are the principles that are different between that and a normal venture fund?
The normal venture fund waits for a company to scale over many multiple rounds and have one single large exit, whether that comes in the form of acquisition or IPO. However, in Bitcoin, you can be exiting every single second. And in a transaction, the payout can be multiple parties. So for example, if I was to send funds to you, Charles, and the wallet I'm using helped me conduct that transfer, that wallet could be extracting a very small amount of BSVs in the form of Satoshis, and that could be distributed real time to the founders, the team, and to the investor. And we'll take our royalties that way.
Some in the Bitcoin world are skeptical about venture capital altogether for their kind of startups.
I don't think that traditional venture capital has any role in the sector. I think that it's kind of a misnomer, and I think people are going through the motions of a traditional Silicon Valley startup where they hear they need venture capital, so they seek venture capital. And I think VCs know that and have been taking advantage of that for decades, and I think that ends now.
If Bitcoin businesses don't want venture capitalists, it may also be that they won't like what they see when they take a closer look at Bitcoin businesses. Just explain to me why you think Bitcoin businesses are vulnerable compared to other businesses.
The reason it's vulnerable is, first of all, for Bitcoin to grow and become more secure, miners need to get paid. For that to happen, transactions must be happening on-chain. However, when you put transactions on-chain, that data can be interoperable with any other service provider. And if you didn't make it that way, it's not really that attractive. So the whole appeal of Bitcoin for the user, for everyone involved, is that you can own your own data. Therefore, a business who is building on-chain essentially is making it easier for every other business to continue whatever they've built.
We'll see exponential growth, but you'll see it from tiny teams. And those tiny teams will be able to scale massively because they don't have to worry about the same kinds of costs and problems that a traditional company has to worry about on the traditional internet.